All right, let's take a look at why Americans are being held back right now. It has nothing to do with being in shape or having a heart or wanting it really bad. One of the biggest problems of the Americans right now is their backhands. Every American's got a big forehand and a big serve, but their backhands are ineffective. You compare them to Nadal and Djokovic and Del Potro and any of the better players in the top 10, which we don't have any Americans. Not even in the top 20 right now. And you'll see the difference immediately. It's quite easy. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Isner, Sam Querrey, Ryan Harrison, Stevie Johnson. Doesn't matter. Watch here with Nadal. When he goes into his preparation, look how his hands are right in front of his hips. His hips are actually doing all the work. His arms are very stable right there at the hit, and he's pulling his hips. And look at the racket now. It's still in front of his hips. You see that? It's facing right across from his belt line. And you can see he's very connected, hips to his racket. And now right here, see that? He has no backswing at all. Right here, he starts to shift his hips forward into the court, right? He's twisting forward. And that's when his racket finally lays back and through into the ball with a big pop. It almost happens instantaneously as his hips come through. That's because he's connected the entire stroke to his hips. And he's got a big pop from a very small swing. Watch an American here, Stevie Johnson. Right away, you can see he starts, look at his hips. You can see his hands start to move before his hips. So he starts to lay that racket head back, which is taught in America. You want shoulder rotation, which is completely false. So you see his shoulders are rotated, but look at his hips. They haven't moved at all, so he's not connected to the center of his body. So when he comes out, look here. See how his hips are open to the net? Or before Nadal was facing that 45-degree angle. See, his hips are open, and there's no connection between his hips and his racket head. So he's pulling away from the hit. He's off balance up in the air. Look again. Every time it's the same. See, that racket goes back instantly past his hips. Look where his hips are. Remember where Nadal was? His butt of his racket was facing the middle of his belt line. And he's disconnected here. So you can see, once again, there's no body weight into these backhands. And that's the problem, is this idea of shoulder rotation. It's absolutely incorrect, and it's the difference between us and all the top 10 and the great players today. Same here. Take a look at Sam. See, that racket head is back. Completely back. He's laid the head back. The butt of the racket's pointing at the net, which is also taught. It's another fallacy. And look here. See, it's all shoulder rotation. So he has to really use upper body mobility, and he's not attached to his hips. His hips have pretty much locked at the sidelines there. See that? And it's all off balance. Look at one more great backhander, Djokovic. He performs the backhand very similar to Nadal. Look at that. See how the hips are moving and the racket's just staying steady right in front of his belt buckle there. See, that's very steady. Now he goes into the swing. Look, his hands are still, look at that. His hips are back, but look where his hands are. They're still basically right in front of his belly. See that? And now here he makes his shift with his hips. He starts to twist his hips into the court. And that's, once again, when his racket lays back and through. And it's spring-loaded. And that's what creates the big pop, is having tension in your body from the tip of your racket to the center of your hips. And that creates that pop with a very small stroke. Look how big this stroke is. See that? The racket's laid back, and now he's depending on trying to rotate his shoulders. So until the Americans get their act together and understand how to use and how to connect the center of their body, their hips, their dantian, to their hands, we're going to stay lackingly, woefully far behind the Europeans right now, at getting to the top of the game. So let's get it together, Americans. And I really want it to be known that I personally like these guys. I've actually worked with Sam and Stevie quite a bit in the juniors. So it's nothing personal.